my name is Ida Hermosillo, Director of Network Engagement for GIA. Welcome to our annual Towards a Shared Vision convening. It is my honor to introduce our Action Network teams. These groups of cross-sector partners collaborate on prioritizing focus areas around equitable student success and institutional transformation. We currently have 5 active Action Network teams, also known as ANTs. Their focus areas include college and career readiness, equity, returning adults and professional education, advising and transfer, and financial aid. Today, they will highlight the behind-the-scenes work they've accomplished over the last year. This work would not be possible without the engagement and collaboration of all our partners. Our call of action today includes your engagement as an active change agent to help support our regional equity goals and strategies.
Well, thank you all. And I'm just looking forward to the 2021 GIA Towards a Shared Vision Conference. And I'm Dr. Talisa Sullivan, and I work with Riverside County Office of Education. I'm in the Unit of Equity and Access, and I'm an administrator. Just really want to go and highlight some of the fabulous work that's happening in the Growing Inland Achievement with the Equity Action Network team meetings. And so just kind of putting it out there that GIA has provided so much support for the Inland Empire and for individuals that are in need of support academically. We have a group of amazing educators that get together from different institutions, nonprofits, higher ed, K-12, and other institutions that get together and just look to see how we can better support our youth as they go towards success and whatever success looks like for them. So providing equitable opportunities for all youth throughout the Inland Empire. And so I'm going to highlight a few different things for us to hear today about how GIA supports the academic success for our youth moving forward. And so first I'm going to highlight what we did as a group, as a team. And I actually serve as a liaison between Riverside County Office of Education and GIA. And so I serve as a co-chair for the Equity Action Network team for GIA. And so with that, when we first came in, we had a few tactical plans that we were beginning to work towards ensuring equitable outcomes for students throughout the Inland Empire at all levels. And then COVID-19 happened. And so I wanted to say that, again, COVID-19 happened. And then we were all put in a situation where we didn't know our left from our right. And what does that mean? What is this COVID-19? And I'll be transparent to say that when I first heard that there was a virus, I was like, well, should I be checking my computer? And I looked around and everyone's like, well, are you serious? And I kind of was, but I had heard that we were, having a nationwide, more than nationwide, a worldwide crisis. And so COVID-19 put us all in a different place. And so what GIA did was got together those of us that were leading from our different institutions and came up with a plan to still support our 2020 graduates. And so there was a website that was built specifically for 2020 graduates so that they could have financial aid support, college enrollment support, and support in any other area that they needed. And there was a whole website designed for that. And so this was just all of these institutions coming together to say, we want to pour in to our youth to make sure that they know that we are here for them and that they do not have to guess where the support will come from. And so that was one of the things I want to highlight. The second one I want to highlight is some of the tactical plans that we had for the Inland Empire. And there were 2 tactical plans that I'll talk about in just a moment. The third thing that I want to highlight is the collective impact professional learning that the Growing Inland Achievement allowed for the co-chairs in order to build our capacity so that we can best support the individuals coming into the organization as a support for the district offices, counties, the nonprofit organizations, and such. So going back to the tactical plans, the Growing Inland Achievement had 2 tactical plans this year, and one is called the Inland Empire Black Student Success Collaborative, and the other one is the Continuum Development Tactical Plan. And so the Inland Empire Black Student Success Collaborative, specifically designed to talk to attract African American students at different levels, but mostly at the college level, to provide them with resources and support so that they can go towards higher education if that's what they so select, and different things like that. So there's the website is in development, it hasn't been completely developed yet, but there's also information about providing mentorship for African American students in college. And so that is a part of the tactical plan for the Inland Empire Black Student Success Collaborative. And so there are some other things in the work for that particular tactical plan to ensure the success of our African American students that are going into college or that are already in college. So it's still in the works, it's still in the process, but there's research that has been done throughout the Inland Empire that there's a need for mentorship for our students that are experiencing intergenerational marginalization and not having access to certain opportunities. So that's the first tactical plan. The second one I mentioned was the Continuum Development Tactical Plan. And so basically with the Growing Inland Achievement, we looked around and we thought that how can we determine whether our organizations, our schools, our nonprofits, any organization that's working for the educational success for our students in the Inland Empire, how can we determine whether or not their practices are equitable? And so the Growing Inland Achievement decided that we would develop a continuum so that people could see where they are on the continuum. And then there's more further talk about, well, once you see whether or not you are where you are on the continuum, how do I figure out how do I move forward on the continuum to move towards equitable practices for my own institution? And so that's another process in the process of being developed. And so we are contracted with another organization that's helping us to facilitate conversations about developing the continuum. It's kind of it's not really a rubric, but it's more of a continuum that shows, a movement between you can be here on the continuum or further along on the continuum. And if you're in a specific place, our goal is to ensure that we can bring you to where you'd like to be on the continuum. And so that is in the works. The last thing that I want to cover is I want to talk about the collective impact professional learning opportunities that were afforded to those of us that are in the co-chair position to better build our capacity in areas that we can support other leaders throughout the Inland Empire. And so the collective impact was the first time I had gone into collective impact, but really just ensuring that collectively we are creating the most impact for our youth and our students and our teachers and our organizational leaders. And so Growing Inland Achievement has provided so many different opportunities for success in the future. Another one that I didn't mention, actually, I wanted to mention the Diversifying the Teacher Pipeline Program and the Project Impact, which is two programs kind of that are working in tandem together to diversify the teaching pipeline program. And so right now in Riverside County, we have a large, population of students who may not necessarily see themselves represented in the classroom. And so what Growing in Achievement did was designed a, I might have lost word, but an opportunity for us to apply for a grant that will give us resources to be able to support teachers of color going into the teaching field. And so we work together in collaboration with Cal State, another nonprofit organization, and Riverside County Office of Education to provide resources for teachers of color that are going into the field of education and providing them with that just-in-time support that they need. So this is really a great opportunity to just really dig in and see what Growing Inland Achievement offers, the support they offer, and the opportunity to be leaders that are building our capacity in order to be able to support those that are around us as they build their capacity and reach their goals of supporting students in the Inland Empire. So I'd like to thank you all for your time and for your attention and for the opportunity to speak to you all regarding the happenings of the Growing Inland Achievement and the Equity Action Network team. And again, I'm Dr. Talisa Sullivan, and I appreciate the time that you all are taking to kind of listen and hear about all of the happenings towards success for our participants in the Inland Empire. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tim Bias. I'm the Director of College and Career Success Programs for the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. I come from a firm belief that connectivity and creativity are correlated. The bigger our networks, the greater our opportunity to learn, and innovation isn't necessarily something that that comes out of the blue. It's something that has to be cultivated through relationships and through exchange of information. So I see this as a space that really creates this. When I think about where good ideas come from and really creating spaces for people to interact around problems of practice, this really fits that need. And me participating in this, I think is really going to contribute to my ability to better meet the needs of within my role as a Director of College and Career Success Programs. The other part of this, I think that really is advantage and which I've taken advantage of is just throughout that networking, meeting people within the community, within the Inland Empire who have common goals similar to mine and connecting with them on different levels. I think that ability has really been an advantage. I've only been here for 5 months, but and a lot of the people that I've met have been from GIA. So it's been a great opportunity to have those interactions to really build. And coming in with the mindset that I may be someone that has something to learn or coming in with looking for answers, but also understanding that I may be the person that's going to contribute to someone else's learning. I think having that mindset is really what this is about in terms of there being an interdependence and we need each other in order to help solve a lot of these problems and looking at the Inland Empire and its students. So coming in with that mindset and really wanting to engage in that way, I think will allow someone to really get a lot out of the experience. So for me, if someone wants to contribute and looking for ways to contribute to the community, but also come from a place of being in a place to learn, I think is a great opportunity to engage.
Hi, my name's Emily Ingleshaw, and in my role as Interim Associate Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Services and Director of Undergraduate Admissions at UC Riverside, I've had the distinct opportunity to serve on GIA's Transfer Action Network team for the last several years. And I have to say that the collective impact that the GIA has as a result of their Action Network teams on advancing higher education and equity for students in the Inland Empire is really a unique alliance that results in innovative solutions in support of student success, specifically for the Inland Empire. For me, being a part of the Transfer Action Network team for the last several years has been incredibly rewarding, especially as UCR has looked for ways to increase the number of transfer students at our institution. The work of the Transfer Ant has really dissected the overly complicated transfer process and identified points where students fall out of the process. So topics like affordability, really meaning kind of explaining to students the net cost of attendance and really what that means when comparing from institution to institution. Identifying students who are ready to transfer early in the process and communicating with them early in the process about their opportunities and pathways. Submission of final documents as students are really trying to finalize the place where they're going to attend. And intersegmental data sharing opportunities are all areas that the Transfer Ant has identified as items that impede equitable access to higher education and progression towards a 4-year college or university degree that need to be mitigated. As a result of the Transfer Action Network team, an informal partnership was formed between my institution at UCR, Cal State University San Bernardino, and Chaffey College that looked for ideas to implement between our campuses in support of the transfer process that have the potential to be scaled out and implemented more broadly across the Inland Empire. One of these ideas involved Chaffey providing to both my institution and Cal State University San Bernardino final transcripts for those students who have committed to our institutions to ensure that their students didn't fall out of the transfer process because they failed to meet a critical deadline. So I have to say the partnerships and relationships and both formal and informal dialogue that occur within the transfer ANT are invaluable to me as a higher education leader working to advance the transfer pathway to UC, and critical to ensuring a successful transfer experience for students across the Inland Empire. I value the opportunity to continue to work with this extremely dedicated and creative group of individuals, and thankful for the support of the GIA with this effort. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma Diaz, and I am the director for the Inland Adult Education Consortium, and I'm housed at San Bernardino Valley College. In the past 2 years, we have been working under a collective impact approach with GIA, serving as the backbone organization for the Returning Adult Action Network Task Force, better known as ANT. Under a collective impact approach, our aim is to achieve large-scale social change, and this requires broad cross-sector coordination. And in their role, GIA has convened education providers from across the Inland Empire that include adult education, community college, universities, and other community providers. Yet each one of us remains focused on how we can serve our population. What we have accomplished in our short 2 years of meeting includes really first getting to know each other. Who was in the virtual room, then we began to build trust, build relationships, and then worked on creating a vision for supporting returning adults across the Inland Empire. Our collaborative achievement to date includes a consensus workshop where we identified the needs of lifelong learners through an equity lens and how we could have a holistic response to student support services, motivation, regional coordination, the use of data to inform our decisions, and how to be creative and innovative in our community call to action. Our team strategy includes the creation of a tactical plan, outlining outputs and metrics to keep us on track to achieve our goals in both the short, mid, and long-term plan. These achievements are a reflection of the vision and commitment of the ANT team to cultivate a vision and mindset focused on goal attainment and self-efficacy that transforms lives, communities, and the region. What I have personally learned through my participation on the ANT team is that we have resources to help our community and future students overcome those barriers. We are working hard on getting these resources to them. The commitment from educators and GIA is amazing. I'm honored to be in this virtual room with them, with these dedicated individuals, and I look forward to seeing our students succeed. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Annette Webb. I'm the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs at the University of California, Riverside University Extension. And if collaboration, collective impact, and innovation speak to you, then please join an Action Network team and become part of this amazing group of educators who work together toward a shared vision of student success in the inland Southern California. Personally, being part of the Action Network team on returning adults in professional education has brought me great professional satisfaction, knowing that I'm part of a local collective that actively leverages expertise and best practices from across our region's educational system. And as we engage with each other, we share ideas, we learn from each other's experiences, we spark creativity, and we produce plans and tactics that support adult learners in their education goals, and so that they can thrive in an ever-changing economy. The people you will work alongside in the Action Network teams are leaders who believe in the future of our region, and we invite you to join an Action Network team so that our region and its students will also benefit from your expertise and your contributions. Thank you.
Hi, I am so excited to be here today to report on behalf of the GIA Financial Aid and Affordability Network team. There has been some great strides towards making financial aid more equitable throughout our region this year. Some of the most recent work that you may have seen is an ambitious goal that was set for a 90% financial aid completion rate by 2026. 90% of all of our students throughout the region will have their financial aid applications completed by 2026. We know that's an ambitious goal, but we also know that those who complete their financial aid applications are a lot more likely to enroll in post-secondary education, and we are excited to bring that to the region. We've also been inviting the Department of Education into our space and into our meetings, and they have been really impressed with the work that we are doing. We've engaged multiple partners in the financial aid space to see what tools and tips that they have for us, and we've been sharing those out through professional development within our teams. And last but not least, we have developed a survey that is going to go out early fall, and it's going to be sent to scholarship providers, givers, foundations, and others who advise students on scholarships and financial aid to look at their practices so that we can collectively see what's really working well and where are some areas where we can improve and what sort of technical assistance can we provide so that we can make sure that scholarships and access to information around financial aid is equitable for students and families across the region. We are super excited about the future. We are excited about working in financial aid in this coming year. Thank you so much for having me.